If you find yourself alone on your birthday, know that your worth is undefined by the number of likes on your posts or the absence of greetings on your phone. You are a universe filled with stories, laughter, and love, waiting to be celebrated. Today, we'll explore how this remarkable bond unfolded, proving that sometimes the deepest connections are forged in the quietest corners of a diner, reminding us that we should never underestimate the power of human kindness. At the ripe age of 75, Evelyn Miller found herself seated in a dimly lit corner booth of Murphy's Diner. Her gaze was fixed on a solitary birthday candle perched atop a store-bought slice of vanilla cake. The flame danced in her watery eyes as she whispered a silent wish that anyone, would remember that today marked another year of her existence. Outside, the rain drummed against the windows like tears she refused to shed. Evelyn had always been the heart of every celebration, the grandmother who remembered every birthday, anniversary, and milestone in her family's life. Her small apartment walls were covered with photos of grandchildren's graduations, children's weddings, and holiday gatherings where she stood proudly in the center, her arms wrapped around the people she loved more than her own breath. Yet today, her phone remained silent, her mailbox empty, and her heart heavy with the realization that the woman who had given everything to everyone had somehow become invisible to those she cherished most. The diner buzzed with the usual evening crowd, couples sharing desserts, families laughing over comfort food, and business people scrolling through phones while mechanically eating their meals. Evelyn watched them all from her isolated corner, remembering when she too had a full table, when her own kitchen overflowed with laughter and the sweet chaos of a large, loving family. But those days felt like scenes from someone else's movie now, distant memories that grew more painful with each passing birthday. She had dressed carefully that morning, putting on her favorite lavender dress and the pearl necklace her late husband had given her 40 years ago, hoping against hope that maybe this year would be different, that someone would surprise her, that the doorbell would ring with flowers, or a grandchild would call with birthday wishes. Instead, she had spent the day watching old home movies alone, until the silence became unbearable, and she found herself here, buying her own birthday cake from a stranger celebrating 75 years of life, with only her reflection in the coffee cup for company. As Evelyn raised the plastic fork to cut her cake, her hands trembled slightly, not from age but from the overwhelming weight of loneliness that pressed down on her chest like a stone. She had raised 4 children, been married for 42 wonderful years before cancer took her beloved Robert. It had worked as a kindergarten teacher for 3 decades, touching hundreds of young lives. Yet somehow she had arrived at this moment, forgotten and alone on the day that should have been filled with celebration and love. The teenage waitress working the evening shift, Maya, had been watching the elderly woman from across the diner. Something about the way she sat so carefully upright, the way she smoothed her dress every few minutes, and especially the way she stared at that single candle, as if it held all her hopes and dreams, made Maya's heart ache with recognition, because she too knew what it felt like to be forgotten, to celebrate milestones in solitude, to wish for someone who cared enough to remember. Maya had grown up in foster care, moving from house to house, never staying long, enough to build lasting relationships working at the diner to save money for community college, while living in a tiny studio apartment that barely qualified as home. Birthdays had always been just another day for her, unmarked and unnoticed. So when she saw Evelyn's tears beginning to fall as she prepared to blow out her candle, something deep inside her soul stirred. A connection that transcended age, background, and circumstances. Against her manager's usual policy about bothering customers, Maya found herself walking toward Evelyn's table, carrying a fresh pot of coffee and a courage she didn't know she possessed. She had watched families ignore elderly relatives, seen people walk past those who needed kindness, and promised herself she would never be one of those people who turned away from someone's pain, especially not tonight, not when this beautiful woman deserved so much more than eating birthday cake alone in a diner. "Excuse me," Maya said softly, her voice barely above a whisper as she approached Evelyn's table. "I couldn't help but notice it's your birthday, and I was wondering if maybe you'd like some company while you celebrate, because I think birthdays are too special to spend alone. Honestly, you look like someone who has amazing stories to tell. The kind of stories that make people feel less alone in this world." Evelyn looked up, surprised by the genuine kindness in the young woman's eyes, seeing something there that reminded her of her younger self. A warmth and empathy that seemed rare in today's fast-paced world. I am 75 today, Evelyn whispered, her voice cracking with emotion as Maya slid into the booth across from her. And I keep thinking about all the birthday parties I threw for my children, the elaborate celebrations. I planned for my grandchildren the surprise parties I organized for friends and neighbors, and wondering how. I became the person everyone forgot, how I became so easy to overlook that even my own flesh and blood couldn't remember the day I was born. Maya reached across the table and gently placed her weathered hand over Evelyn's. Feeling the softness of skin that had comforted countless children, cooked thousands of family meals, and wiped away tears from scraped knees and broken hearts. "You know what I think?" Maya said, her young voice carrying wisdom beyond her. 18 years, I think some people are so busy living their lives that they forget to see the people who made their lives possible. But that doesn't make you forgettable. It makes you precious, like a treasure they're too distracted to notice. In that moment, something magical happened between them. A recognition that transcended their generational gap, their different life experiences, their separate struggles. Evelyn saw in Maya the daughter she had always hoped would understand her heart, while Maya saw in Evelyn the grandmother she had dreamed of having, the one who would listen to her fears, celebrate her victories, and love her unconditionally, despite her imperfect past. "Make a wish," Maya encouraged, striking a match to relight the candle that had flickered out during their conversation. "And this time wish for something just for you, something that would make your heart happy, because you deserve all the birthday magic in the world. And I have a feeling this is going to be the beginning of something beautiful." As Evelyn closed her eyes and blew out the candle for the second time that evening, she didn't wish for her family to remember her. She didn't wish for the loneliness to disappear. Instead, she wished for the courage to open her heart to new kinds of love, to unexpected friendships, and to the possibility that sometimes the family we need isn't the one we're born into, but the one we choose. 6 months later, Evelyn's apartment walls displayed new photos alongside the old ones, pictures of her and Maya at community college graduation ceremonies, holiday dinners shared at the diner after closing time, and weekend adventures exploring the city together. Maya had become the granddaughter of her heart, while Evelyn had become the grandmother Maya had always needed, proving that love doesn't require blood relations. Only open hearts and the willingness to see the beauty in unexpected connections. Their friendship became a testament to the power of paying attention, of noticing when someone needs kindness, of choosing connection over convenience. The diner where they met became their special place, where every month they celebrated not just birthdays, but the anniversary of the night. Two lonely souls found each other and discovered that family isn't always about who shares your DNA, but about who shares your dreams, your tears, and your slice of birthday cake. If you found yourself alone on your birthday, know that your worth isn't defined by the number of likes on your post or the absence of greetings on your phone. You are a universe filled with stories, laughter, and love waiting to be celebrated. And sometimes the most profound celebrations start with the smallest acts of kindness. Shared slice of cake and a single candle in a quiet corner booth of a nostalgic diner.
Us.
If this story touched your heart and reminded you that kindness can bloom in the most unexpected places, please subscribe to our channel for more stories that celebrate the beautiful connections that make life meaningful. Share this video with someone who might need a reminder that they matter, that their story has value, and that sometimes the most profound love comes from the most unlikely sources, because every person deserves to feel seen, remembered, and cherished, especially on their birthday.